This video is gonna be for the second channel. So it's more like vloggy stuff, not just to do with the truck. So anyway, in today's video, I'm gonna be sort of vlogging this little project. Would you want to get involved, Chloe, or?
No.
Okay, so this is my project. So let's give you some backstory. So, 2019, me and Chloe here were backpacking in, what's the friend story?
In Mount Tibidabo.
Yeah. Here, look. 2019, we went to Bali, and one of the things that we saw in Bali, all over the street, were these sort of like resin bowls on
Instant picture here.
driftwood. Yeah, we'll put a picture or a clip if we have anything so you can see what it's like. And we saw this when we were like scootering around. We thought it was really cool, but obviously there's no way of getting it back here. Anyway, here on the Isle of Wight, there is a shop called Oasis, which their whole thing is that they import furniture and all kinds of stuff, wood, arts and crafts sort of things that Balinese people have made, and they import it to the Isle of Wight, to this shop called Oasis. Anyway, had this idea. Currently in our house, ignore the state of this right now, this will make sense. So this is our fish tank, which there is a puffer fish and two other fish. Over here, this is the shrimp tank. As you can see, all loads of cherry shrimp. We started with 5, and now there's probably close to 150, 200 in there. Babies, adults. Again, ignore the way this looks. It will make sense in a moment. The shrimp tank is way too big. I'm thinking we put the fish in the shrimp tank. Did have this plan of having like a fish bowl for the shrimp and just downsizing. And then I had this idea of getting one of these. So this is the driftwood, and in here, the bowl. I've just been informed that the whole bowl idea was Chloe's idea, and it was my idea to do the Balinese bowl. Isn't that right, Chloe?
Yeah.
This is the bowl we're going to use, and it's made from recycled glass, and as you can see, it's molded to this piece of wood here. And we saw this all over Bali. I'm going to test it now to put some water in to make sure there's no holes, doesn't crack it or anything like that. So far, so good. So this is going to be the shrimp tank. We've got substrate to go in. We've just been to the fish shop as well, so we do have some like driftwood to put in. We've bought a plant, a nubius, to go in, and we do have like this floating plant as well. It'll be just for the shrimps, and then we've got 2 little fish called kitty tetras. We're gonna order a new sort of little sponge filter on Amazon, but for the meantime we'll probably just use a small filter that we've got lying around. So we will be able to get it up and running and stuff, but we will be aquascaping this first. But we need to put the new plants somewhere for the time being, because those plants aren't supposed to dry out. We're gonna go for a Hobbit Shire scape, but it's really difficult to like make a hill out of the aqua soil. So this is the Anubius. But that just goes like that. Pretty cool. So in terms of placement, we are thinking of zhuzhing up this area and possibly having the new Balinese bowl just here for the shrimp tank, which does have access to power, so we can use like a filter and light, etc. So this whole area will get zhuzhed. Still kind of need a new home for all these plants, which is probably going to be another video another time. I should note, you can't just put normal tap water, even with the tap safe stuff, and just straight away start adding livestock in there. You can't do that. So right now, for example, we have access to water which has already been cycled through and been running for years. We have another tank over there which has obviously been cycled through for years. We have filter media which has got lots of that nutrients needed to start a new tank. If you don't have a tank and you're starting from fresh, you need to just put water in and a filter, etc., everything you're going to have, and run it for like 4 weeks before even beginning to put little critters in there. See, we have this light here, which is a fish tank light, but it's currently being used as like a grow light for this Boston fern. But we might use this temporarily for the fish bowl. For the substrate, we've got this aqua soil, which is good for plants and shrimp. Another thing, we've got fresh mineral water from the fish tank, from the fish shop, because the Isle of Wight water is so bad that it'll just kill anything you put in the water. You have to get special water from the fish shop. We've got aqua soil for the substrate, and then on top of that, we've got this sand here as well, which is going to go on top. And so in the future, if we want to put any plants in, we can put the roots in through the sand to reach the soil with some root tabs maybe. And also having sand on top means that you'll be able to see the red shrimp a lot better than this dark aqua soil. Chloe's put a little indicator here, so this is the front, which means we're going to put our aqua soil in. We've got our driftwood in position, Anubias ready. We're going to have it just in there, yeah? So next is to super glue to the driftwood using gel super glue. Okay, we have done a little scaping. We have added this light, which is just temporary. Everything here is temporary. Let me talk you through it. So the light is temporary, which is attached to here, which is all temporary. The driftwood has been sat in a bucket of water for a couple hours now to release the tannins, but obviously it will just float to the top when water is added. So we've put a big rock in there to weigh it down, and when eventually the driftwood becomes waterlogged, we'll take off that big rock. I have added the shrimp tank filter, which has got, normally it would have 2 sponge filters, but I've taken the other side off and I have clogged it, which will still work, and then the water will just skim along the top there. Hopefully this piece of driftwood does not start floating around as we add water. Hopefully I've wedged it in there. But the light, there we go. I think that'll work quite nicely. We'll add some water, about 50% from the established shrimp tank already, and then the rest of the water will be from the aquarium shop. Does look a little bit overcrowded at the moment, and the driftwood has risen from the bottom just because it isn't completely waterlogged, but eventually that will sink down and it will look much better. The rock won't be there and we'll have a much smaller filter. Speaking of which, this is the old filter sponge, and it's just good to release some bacteria. What I've done is I've put the 2 little kitty tetra fish in here. They are in here somewhere. I have also put 1 cherry shrimp in here, the Lone Ranger, to go and scope the new place out, and of course to make sure he doesn't die. And I've left them in there for a few hours now, and all 3 of them are okay. I have the horrible job of going in here and netting out every single little cherry shrimp, getting them all together and then transferring them over to their new home. If you look close enough, you'll see little babies like that one. Okay, now I know this is a whole load of mess, but it's getting a refurb, and here's most of the shrimp and the babies.